Criminals are always looking for ways to steal your stuff. We have to be ahead of them. If you ship packages like this, I'm going to show you why this can tell you what's in here. This is an Apple iPhone 15 Pro. Nothing new about it. It's just a nice little telephone. This is a package that I've received some time ago. It's been opened and I have some contents in here. But what if I was to tell you that I could show you what's in here without you ever seeing what's in the package? All I have to do is take my phone and simply touch it to the screen. This little thing comes up. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute and the importance of that. So what's so big about this package? Well, there's a couple things in here. I have my A&A 2024. This is a proof coin from the World's Fair of Money. I'm looking for the 2025, by the way, if you have one. This is a riverboat, a kind of gold gilded stamp. This is a foil-based series of notes. You see these different items here. There's 100, 20, 50, a really neat Indian note. These are just little collectible, cool items. They don't have that much numismatic value. They're just fun to have. I have a piece of cardboard. I have a little thing from Salivate Metal. And I have this. Now this is a 1938 Buffalo nickel. Now you can see it's the D over D, so this is a repunched mint mark. But what I want you to focus on is the fact that I was able to tell you that that coin was in this package simply by scanning it. Now, many of you are like, hey, Frosty, we already are aware of this, right? This is something that we know about. It's because of this right here, this little tag. But how many people were tracking the fact that you can scan them through your package? So what I want to do today is I want to talk to you about some situations that I have observed. I'm going to set that there for now. And I'm going to show you how you best can help yourself when shipping packages with this specific tag. Now I have a couple more of these coins, and if I pop this open, what happens if I scan this? Oh, another tag comes up. What tag is this one? This is for an 1853 halftime. It's a $190 coin. The population is 126, and there's 1,293 that come in a higher grade. So if I was to pop this open and I was to show you this coin right here, that is the halftime, the 1853 with arrows. AU53, the green CAC sticker. Now, again, you'll see this one here. Now, these coins from NGC that don't have this little label on them, you can't scan those to be able to do it. And don't get those mixed up with the CAC ones that you can scan because they have the QR code. But there's another one in here. So let's put that in here. Let's close this. And can you scan the last coin in here through all of the others? And it's pretty far away. If you scan the top, oh, there it is. And there is my 1883 Carson City. So again, folks, what I want to show you, and I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so you can see these coins. And so you can see the prices here. And again, this is a $435 coin. So in this container, if I was to ship this container in a package like this, they would have been able to find out that there were 3 coins in here that totaled about $700. And that's concerning, right? That's something that we need to be aware of. But in this particular container right here, and I'm going to actually reach back in here and pull this other one out. And again, you can see it was right in the middle of this stack. Behind 4 coins, this one was sitting here. There's 4 coins ahead of it, 5 coins behind it. This is in the same spot. and it scanned that. So it's fairly deep in there. So I'm going to go ahead and set that right there. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at this particular item here. It's the one that has the little RFID logo. And then we want to look at how we can safeguard our packages. Now, there's been a couple different things on what you can do to safeguard against this. And one of the things that I did was I reach out to people in my community. And I talked to him about some of this stuff. And one of the gentlemen said that you can simply use this. Now, what is this? This is aluminum foil. And you can see it folds and it crinkles and it does whatever. And you can put this over the RFID tag like so. And then I won't be able to scan this. It actually doesn't scan through that. And PCGS recommends that if you want to safeguard against this, that this is something that you should do. But I don't know that this is really an elegant kind of look. There are other ways to do this. And again, if you put this in here and it slides down, you're going to have to find a way to mount it. You don't necessarily want to tape this to this because, again, everything you do to this folder damages it. So I wanted to come up with another solution. So utilizing the tinfoil, I simply taped it to a bag. Now, yes, I know what many of you are thinking. Oh my gosh, really? That's what you had to do? It's cheap, it's effective, it works. So if I was to slide this coin in here and bring this down like this, if I bring this over the top here, you'll see that it doesn't scan. Okay. Now, the problem with doing this, especially depending upon how thick the bag is that if this coin happens to slip up, it's going to be able to be scanned. So when you do this, you need to tape this side down to make sure that it doesn't slide back up. The other thing is, I'm going to bring this back out here. When it's in these bulky things with this, if you try to put that inside there, it doesn't fit. It actually kind of gets jammed up. So you need either a skinnier item here, which doesn't protect the coin as much, or you need a little bit more elegant solution. And in this particular case, I'm looking for a little bit more elegant solution. So how do you do that? Well, online, I started researching various items that are RFID shielding. And I came across these. Unfortunately, I reached out to a couple companies I could make them, but they really weren't very cost effective. They were kind of expensive. And so I needed to find something with RFID technology, and I know I didn't need to find anything that was huge. So what I started to do is I started to go back to my technology days and go, how did we shield against RFID? And I started thinking about connectors. And on our connectors, Cat5, your twisted pair, your 10 base T, you have those types of connectors. And this is the shielding that you would put around to help eliminate the signal. It helps minimize that, keeps the signal within the cable, and it's protective. And I was wondering if this works. So I ordered these. So let me tell you a little bit about these. Now, the company that I bought this through, I'll put the link in the description below. It's an Amazon link. I don't support the company. There are other companies that can create these, but they come in a little pack like this, and there are 20 of them. There are 10 stickers per pack. I cut this off because on this label, I used this portion to take it off. But what you can do is you can actually peel these off. Okay, they're very, very, very thin. You can actually peel this in half, or you can keep it as one. If you want to do it over the coin, you can do it over the coin and simply just fold this over like this. Now you want to keep it down far enough so that it doesn't bunch here. It stays nice and flat. Now you can protect this. What does that do for you? Well, if I bring this over and I try to scan that, it's not going to scan. Now I can flip this coin over, and because that shielding, it doesn't even scan on the front. It doesn't matter where I put this, it doesn't pick up that RFID tag. Now, I know we talked about this one just a minute ago, but which one is the more elegant approach? Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, but Frosty, I don't want to put anything on my coin. I don't want anything to be on the slab because there might be potential damage to it. Understand that. So there is another solution, and the other solution is to, well, get a skinnier bag and put them across the bag this way. Now, these are adhesive, so you don't have to have additional tape. You can see this is a very flimsy bag. But when I take this one, I'll actually take this one, and I put this inside this plastic bag, you'll see that I've already staged this particular one to cover the RFID tag. Now, like I stated before, you want to make sure that you fold this over and you want to tape it here so that this doesn't fall forward. But again, when I grab this, I put over the top of it, you'll see that it doesn't scan. So you don't actually have to put it directly on the holder. You can put it on the plastic if you wanted to. Now, I recommend this. They're easy to come off. They won't slide out of here. This is how I can store these. Now, what does this affect? Well, it doesn't affect anything because I can put this in here. I can still see the label. I can put this in here, but it doesn't allow, remember I was able to scan that coin earlier. It doesn't allow me to scan it even through here, and I don't have to worry about having plastic. Now, if you like to have plastic on these, again, get the smaller ones, okay? And when you do this, again, you have to make sure that you fold it over. And then if you do this, you want to make sure that when you put this in here, you either lay this over the top here, or you kind of fold this over to where it can fit in between the two slabs. So there's a number of ways in which you can do this. I know that a lot of people like to keep them in the plastic to keep from scratching. I know there's actually a couple of good friends of mine who one of their pet peeves is people who don't keep them in the protective holder. So you can keep them in the protective holder, but if you don't have them, it's really nice and easy just to do that. And again, it slides in here with no issues. Now I have, and I'm going to pull this one out of here, and I'm going to create another one just so that I can show you. To get that out of the way real quick. And then again, I don't want to use this thick, heavy bag. I want to go back and get something that's a little bit lighter. Now, this is a little bit heavier. It's lighter than this one, but it's heavier than the other one. And if I put this in here, right, the intent is to protect the coin. You can see that I got the little piece of tape there. I'm going to squeeze this off. I'm going to pull this over, and I'm going to secure that there. Now, that holds this in place. It's not going to come undone, well, unless I pull it. It's not going to come undone. It's going to stay in that package. And when I insert it into the package, now I can scan the package and it doesn't scan the coin. And this is really important. Now, is this something that you absolutely have to do? It's not. If you don't worry about this, if you're a coin shop and it doesn't really bother you, you're not worried about it because you're like, well, I keep insurance on it. But for those of us who only ship a few coins, there's protections that you want to put into place. If you buy a coin, request somebody do something to protect the coin from RF scanning if it has that item. If you're selling a coin and you're shipping a coin, I recommend this. And why is that? Well, let's say that you're dealing with this 1883 Carson City in MS63 condition. This is a $400 plus coin. Now, let's say that this gets taken. Now, you can fight with the insurance company. You can fight with the postal service or whatever cargo company it is. And they may only tell you that it's a coin. And so you only get the face value from it. Unless you have some sort of documentation that shows how much this coin is actually worth. You may end up having to fight or battle the post office. So why wouldn't you want to protect this? Oh, by the way, if the person bought it, you either have to refund their money, which means you could be out, or you have to find another replacement and send them that coin. Either way, it's a potential loss for you. So doesn't it make sense to do what you can, something very small? And again, $9 or $10 for 200 of these, that's 100 packages. Again, you only have to use 2 per item. If you want to use more, you can, but it's really not necessary. Now, in this particular case, if I want to put this in there, again, I would just fold this in there. This fits in there, and I could just push that down, and it's fine. Now, this one down here, I just put this in here. You could see it didn't scan. And this one fit inside here as well. These ones don't fit as nice. You have to give them a little bit more force. You can see that I'm kind of pushing that down a little bit. You see the change in my fingernail. You can see my fingernails go a little bit white because I'm having to push it down in there. And you can pull it back out. But the problem is the more you do that, the more pressure it puts on this, and you eventually degrade your slab. So if you're going to do this, you're going to keep them in there, go with the thinner mill plastic containers. That's going to be extremely important. But if you don't want to keep all the plastic, then just stick them on the back like so. Now, where can you get these? Again, you can get these on Amazon. You can get these off of eBay. You can go to any electronics shop locally. Tell them you want these little RFID stickers, and they will point you to them. Again, you have to make sure that they are RFID shielding. These have copper woven into the fabric, and it's that copper metal fabric alloy that actually prevents the RFID scan. There's a lot of people with way better RF technology scanners than an iPhone. I haven't tested this on the really high-end ones. I am going to do that. I'm going to reach out to a buddy of mine that has RFID scanners, a little bit better quality than what I believe the iPhone is going to be, to see if it scans through this. Obviously, if they're really high-end, this may be totally obsolete. I don't know. But for the common user who may be tempted to look at one of your packages while shipping it, whether it be through FedEx, USPS, or UPS, maybe it's one of the other shipping companies, it doesn't matter. This just keeps the honest people honest. If somebody's going to want to steal your coins, they're going to find a way to steal your coins. But it's up to us to make sure that we develop processes that don't allow them to make it easy for us. Criminals are always looking for ways to steal your stuff. We have to be ahead of them. And this is one way that you can do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on board. Do me a favor, if you like this content, subscribe. And if you know people that are coin shops, if you know people that do online auctions, if you know people that do eBay or whatnot, you want to find ways to prevent people from scanning your coins. And again, now that I've shielded these, it doesn't matter what I scan, it will not pick up on these. Now, there are other solutions. I'm sure some of you out there have done this. You can always use the tinfoil method if that's something that you want to do. That's easy. It's inexpensive. You can follow the same steps, or you can reach out to me and I can help you by getting you connected with these and giving you locations either in your area or helping you find out where you can find these little shielding strips. All right, folks, this is Frostbyte. Please subscribe to the channel, share this out as much as possible. It's about protecting and growing the community. If you want to know more, comment down below. Let me know that you're interested in something. If you want to see more reviews on stuff like this, try to find solutions to your common problems, reach out to me, let me know, and I will try to do some investigation and see if I can find some down-home methods that will protect you in this hobby. All right, folks, be well, be blessed, and I will see you in the streams. Take care.